Welcome to Doc Talks Detox. I'm Dr. Caitlin, and on this channel I talk about all things drainage, and I mean all things. In this video, we're going to be talking specifically about head drainage and what does it look like if your head isn't draining. But even more importantly, what do you do to help support proper drainage so that your head and brain can function optimally? So you're going to want to stay till the end. You don't want to miss it, because I'm, like I said, going to show you exactly what to do. Now, this is video number 2 of a 7-part series because I am literally going to break down my specific 7 lymph nodes, talk to you about what they are, and then show you exactly how to decongest that area so that you can support proper lymphatic drainage. Now that means if this is video number 2 and you haven't seen video number 1 of the termini, make sure you go and watch video number 1 because all of these videos are going to build upon one another. Your termini have to be draining and decongested and clear in order for your head to drain. So with that being said, let's jump in to node number 2. Node number 2 is our tonsillar nodes. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have my tonsils anymore, so this doesn't apply to me. Actually, it still 100% does. And here's why. Just because you had your tonsils removed doesn't mean that all, and I mean all of the tonsillar tissue was removed. So you could still have some lymphatic tissue in there along with other vessels that is preventing proper drainage. Now remember, our lymphatic system removes waste products. So if our head isn't removing the waste products via the lymphatic system, we're going to have a lot of problems, a lot of symptoms. So let's talk about some of those symptoms that we might be experiencing if we're having some congested lymph in our head. Now the first one that people jump to automatically is sore throats or like strep throat. So chronically happening like over and over again. Yeah, that could be a sign. It could also be sinus infections, chronic sinus congestion, chronic postnasal drip, chronic headaches. And it could also be migraines, like frequent migraines. It could be things like food sensitivities or allergies. It could be other things like mouth breathing or brain fog. And you might be thinking, well, goodness, who doesn't have one or a few of these things? Unfortunately, a lot of people have congestion for a variety of reasons. So if you've had your tonsils removed, or if you haven't seen my video on tonsils, go and watch that video as well, because I give a lot of really great information about tonsils and what they do and what are the things that can cause our tonsils to become problematic in the first place. Because here's a little thing. Just because we have them removed doesn't mean the problem was addressed. I know, that's crazy and it's frustrating. It means that you still got to do something to address why they became problematic in the first place. And cutting them out isn't that solution. Now, I'm also not saying it's never needed, but I am saying that there's additional steps that still need to be done. So what are some of the things that can cause our tonsils to become problematic, which will then congest our head? Well, things like mouth breathing. So if you are somebody who snores at night, who breathes through their mouth at night, you absolutely are going to have some congestion because your brain just isn't able to drain properly. It could be things like technology neck. If we're on our devices like this, what it's doing is it's actually straightening out our neck. Instead of us having a nice curved neck, what happens is we end up with a straight neck. And that straight neck is going to prevent proper lymphatic drainage. How you sleep is also going to prevent proper lymphatic drainage. And guess what? Our brain only drains at night. Our lymphatic system only drains during deep sleep. So if we're not getting good quality sleep, if we are not in a good position to support drainage, like if we're sleeping on our tummy, we're going to have lymphatic buildup in our brains, in our heads, causing those symptoms that I listed before. So what are some things that you can do in order to decongest it? Well, first, you got to decongest your termini. That's the very first thing, because remember, these videos, they layer upon one another. It's like step by step. So this is step 2. So after you decongest your termini, what you're going to do is you're going to locate your tonsillar nodes. Now, they're located at the angle of our jaw. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the angle of your jaw and you're gonna go over onto the muscular part. The contact is gonna be your ring and middle finger, the pads of them. And what it's gonna be is it's gonna be a downward motion. We always wanna move the fluid towards the drainage point. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna fall off of the angle of your jaw onto the muscular part of your SCM, and we're just going to pump down. It's going to be nice and slow. We're not digging in, and there is going to be some stretch to the skin. Now you might be asking, how often do I do this? How many times? Such a good question. Whenever I have somebody starting off, we're going to stick with 30 times, and it is going to be 1 pump per second. It's nice and slow. This isn't fast. Lymphatic drainage is not like a deep tissue massage. It's very gentle, and you might notice while you're doing this that you start to get a tickle in your throat, or your nose starts to drain, like mine is. You may need to sniffle. You may start sneezing. You may start coughing. All of those things are very normal. And if you're not getting those, it doesn't mean that this isn't working. It just means that you may either have more congestion in there that needs more time. You need to be more consistent and give it time. Or it may mean that, you just don't have a lot of old stagnation that you can feel actually draining. Now, some of the things to note when you're doing this, if it hurts, if it feels hard and it hurts, you're not on the right spot. You're probably on what's called the styloid process, which is a bone that comes in right behind your jaw, and it's higher up. That means that you're not gonna be draining those tonsillar nodes. It's not going to feel good, and you're not going to feel any of those symptoms of actual drainage. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you don't want to be like digging, or you don't want to be aggressive with it. Lymphatic drainage, less is more. Less is always more. And so by starting slow and by starting low, you can always increase it. Do you only have to do 30? No. I have some people who go up to 50 pumps. I have some people who only need 10 pumps. And usually the people that need 10 pumps have been doing it for quite some time. Meaning this isn't like their first rodeo. They've been doing it for a long time. They don't need to open things up quite as much because things are flowing more regularly, so things are not as congested. So what I'm gonna highly recommend you do is do this one before bed. See what happens. You might actually notice that you have better sleep, that you're waking up and you're feeling more rested, or you have more energy. But this is also a really good one to do at any part of the day if you're feeling lack of energy, or if you're feeling, what was I gonna say? Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, brain fog. If you're not remembering what you were gonna do, or if you're struggling with your job or performing or whatever it may be, consider opening this up. But remember, you always gotta open up your termini first. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and make sure that you come back, because I have 5 more lymphatic drainage videos that make up the specific 7. Thanks for being here, happy draining, and I'll see you next time.